Hey, what's up, everyone? Lee Sanders here. You are checking out a new RCWR show dropping for Tuesday night, September 1st, 2020. What are the odds here? Here we are. We are on one hell of a roll, are we not? We're on one hell of a roll. I love it. So we're fresh off of WWE Payback, the pay-per-view. Then we come right back Monday night and we did a show. And now here we are tonight covering NXT Fallout on Tuesday, in which they were dubbing it Super Tuesday. Those of you that watch NXT tonight, I definitely want to hear from you guys in all total honesty and total transparency. I gotta tell you, I couldn't help but go into this main event match, that being the Fatal 4-Way Iron Man match, pretty excited. Come on, you got Adam Cole, you got Finn Balor, you got Johnny Gargano, you got Tommaso Ciampa. You can't go wrong there with those names. Can you not? You can't go wrong. All four of those guys entertaining in their own respected right. Call me crazy. I don't know, maybe it's because I've seen so much of all four of these guys since I've been watching NXT over the years, but it seemed to me that the match itself wasn't boring by any means. It wasn't. And I'll have to throw it back to you guys and you all tell me otherwise, but it really seemed as though the match stayed in just one gear and it never really cranked into another gear. It just went shifting into one gear and we never hit 2, 3, 4. And I gotta tell you, I found myself at many points distracted. And that normally does not happen to me during NXT. It is extremely rare I find myself just, okay, let me just do this. Let me do this instead. What's going on over here? I found myself so distracted. I had to keep, come on, focus, watch this. But I found myself a bit disengaged from this one. I'll have to rely on you guys. I want to hear from you guys and know what was going on with you. If you were kind of having the same little hassle as I was. But man, a lazy ass finish. What we got tonight. That just made me go, really? Really? We're really going to end it like this? I mean, I'm all down for, hey, you got to tune in next Tuesday because this is what's going to be happening. So you have to tune in. I've always said on this show, as far back as to 2011, I've always said, where's the carrot? Where is that incentive to make a person want to come back and check out the following week's show? I've always said that it's essentially the same blueprint that has been going around, not just in wrestling, just TV shows in general. In general, it's a simple blueprint. Okay, if we want you to come on back next week. We want you to watch us. So here's the carrot. Here's why you need to tune in next week. I appreciate NXT going in that direction, but you know, it just felt so cheap and so lazy with what they did tonight. And I gotta tell you something else. Now, granted, WWE, they may not be in control of this, but I will go on record and I will say, USA Network, come on, man, you gotta work with WWE there a little better. The commercials were just freaking ridiculous. Every single time you turn around, I mean, my God, you sneeze, commercial break. You pass gas, commercial break. You blink, a goddamn commercial break. What was probably the most nerve-wracking of all, and at this point, I'm setting up the stream. I'm pretty much getting everything ready to go. And I see it's 9:50 p.m. on the East Coast. I'm going, okay. So we're going to ride this out now. We're pretty much going to go right into the 58, maybe the 59-minute mark. All right, cool. We're going to ride this out. 9:50 p.m., almost on the dot, we go to another commercial break. Another freaking commercial break. I couldn't help but say out loud. I wasn't yelling, but I actually said out loud, are you kidding me? It's 9:50. The show's going to be off in about 7 minutes, 8 tops. Do we really need to take a commercial break? Now, some of you guys will say to me, I believe everything was good because it was picture in picture. I'm sorry, but for me personally, picture in picture, it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It's crazy, right? But no, for me, when I'm watching my wrestling, I gotta see it just like when I'm watching my basketball games and all that. I gotta see the full screen. That's all I care about. I gotta see the full screen. I am the same way when it comes to my basketball, when it comes to my football, any sports. As soon as you show me my stuff in a smaller screen and you try to do the whole split screen so you can show your little advertisements and all that, I'm already disengaged. I'm already pulling out my phone. I'm already looking on social media. I'm already on my tablet. I essentially look at that split screen thing. Okay, commercial break. Officially commercial break. Even though you're showing me what I would like to see, you're kind of really not. So I'm going to use that as an opportunity to go get me, I don't know, another refreshing beverage. Get me some more snacks. Walk the dog. Or let the dog out. I'm going to go do that instead while you guys take this picture in picture. Even if you told me there was something up for grabs. I know AEW likes to do the whole watch these commercials during this picture-in-picture break and look for the secret hashtag. You possibly can win blah, blah, blah and get a virtual call from blah, blah, blah. I still look at it as a commercial break. I'm not interested. Teach its own. That's just me personally. But, okay, so we're going to go backwards eventually, but let's home in on this main event match a little bit more, okay? Okay, so let's pick this up. So, the psychology for this Fatal 4-Way matchup, everybody pretty much got a win, be it pinfall or submission. Everybody had got one, so it was ties all across the board with one. So you're looking at this and you're going, okay, all right. So basically, it's safe to say somebody's going to, within the last 10 seconds, they're probably going to pull in a pinfall or a submission, and thus that's going to be the person that's going to ultimately become the new NXT champion, right? Okay. You kind of saw that a mile away, the way that this was kind of being dragged out once everybody was tied one apiece. So, closing moments of this one, we got Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. They're fighting in one corner, goes up to the top of the turnbuckle. Tommaso Ciampa gets the upper hand, and he's pretty much looking for, I can't describe the move. You all would have to tell me the proper name for the move, but, I guess you could kind of call it maybe like a back Death Valley driver or something like that. Again, I'll rely on you guys to give me the proper terminology, but he's basically got Johnny Gargano set up in that position, and he connects. He fucking connects. Now, when Johnny Gargano did it, he didn't do it from the top turnbuckle. He actually executed that move from the second middle rope. That's where he executed it. All right, so Tommaso Ciampa, he connects with that bad boy. You're like, okay, surely this is it. Well, you got Finn Balor. Forgot about Finn Balor. He does his trademark double stomp onto the stomach of Ciampa. He immediately goes in for the cover. 1, 2, 3. At this point, you've got 21 to 20 seconds that's left. Finn Balor picks up the pinfall. Boom. He now is the top dog. He's at number 2. Everybody else is still at 1. It's counting down now. You're like at about 15, 14, 13, 12 seconds and all that. You're going, okay, safe to say this is pretty much over with. Well, not so fast, because now you've got Adam Cole comes in from behind, does a Shining Wizard kick to the back of Finn Balor's head, lays him out cold. You now got about 5 seconds left, and the freaking Adam Cole, he gets Finn Balor over, goes for the cover. Referee is counting, and it syncs up so perfectly. I mean, you can rewind it back for those of you that have it on your DVR and you're going to be checking it out a little later tonight. For those of you that might be wondering, okay, was there maybe some type of a sync delay there with the referee and the count and what we're seeing at home? Not at all. It's synced up quite well. Adam Cole was able to get the pinfall within those final seconds, and the match ends Finn Balor 2, Adam Cole 2. The other guys 1-1. So now you're going, okay, so what happens now? What happens now? At this point, it's 9:58. You're going, so what happens now? Who's the champion? Case like this, we usually go to sudden death. Like, what the hell? William Regal comes out and makes the announcement that Finn Balor and Adam Cole will be facing each other in a one-on-one matchup for next week to determine who's going to be the new NXT champion. So pretty much, yeah, that's how things ended tonight. And I know I can just imagine the amount of people that are most likely disappointed with the type of finish that they had got. Again, it's the classic case of dangling that carrot over your head, trying to give you that incentive to want to tune in next week. And I mean, there's part of me that can respect it to a certain degree. And it's from this standpoint. I'll touch upon this. And don't worry, you didn't miss anything else. There's still a lot more we could talk about with regards to this week's NXT. Because there was some more decent action that had happened on the card that we can talk about. And we can also preview this Wednesday's AEW Dynamite. Get you all ready for the All Out pay-per-view event and everything. So, good show that we got lined up for you. Welcome, everybody. So, from this standpoint, I say, okay, well, not for nothing, but as we talked about on Monday's RCWR show, we've got NXT that's going to be on Tuesdays just for the next 2 weeks. And again, in case you missed it Monday night and you're like, yeah, what's going on? Why aren't they on their regular night Wednesday nights? They're being preempted for the next 2 Wednesdays due to the NHL. So the NHL is taking NXT's place on Wednesdays nights just for the next two weeks, okay? So that's why we have it on Tuesday. So I can understand from the standpoint of NXT USA saying, okay, so what can we do here to really make sure we get people to tune in to next Tuesday? Okay, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's kind of stretch this NXT championship thing out. Let's kind of, and I'm sure for WWE, they probably read everything that was being said online with the whole total bullshit and how Keith Lee in storyline relinquishes the North American Championship so he could solely focus on frickin' the NXT Championship, and we saw how that played out. I'm sure they probably looked at that and was like, what the fuck? The unfortunate news that went down there with Karrion Kross, he's now out. So I'm sure they probably just looked at everything and was like, okay, well, how can we really redeem ourselves here and really kind of stretch this out, provide great programming and everything. So there's that part of me that can definitely respect and appreciate what they were trying to do and everything. But at the same time, it just felt so lazy that we had to go this route just to stretch out another week and to try to get people to tune in for next week. That's just me, to each its own. Some of you may not even feel that way at all. Again, I would love to know what you guys thought as far as how they did the main event match and everything. But that's just me. I will still go on record. I went on record earlier tonight and I had said as far as who I would like to see as the next NXT champion, a 2-time NXT champion at that, joining in the ranks of Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor. It's so funny too because when I posted that, there were other folks throughout social media that were saying, it should be this person, it should be this person. But there's a very specific reason why I feel that Finn Balor should be the guy to be the NXT champion. And the reason why I feel that Finn Balor needs to be given the go-ahead, I don't think I really doubled down on it the other night or even last week when I had the opportunity to talk about this main event match. But I kind of feel I did touch upon it, but maybe briefly. But for me, I think Finn Balor needs to be the champion once again because, let's be honest, everything that had went down with Finn Balor on the main roster, it was a bust. I mean, we can pretty much all be in agreement. We thought for sure that with the whole demon gimmick and everything, we thought it was going to be just kick-ass, great ride with him on the main roster. And hey, things had went off to a very good start with him on the main roster, but then unfortunately he had that injury, as we all know. Soon as he becomes the Universal Champion, he pretty much had to relinquish that title and everything. And upon coming back from that injury, we're going, okay, all right, things are going to pick right back up. You know, pretty much where he left off. That's what's going to happen with the man. Okay, cool. And it just never really seemed to get back on track to where he was from the proper build-up he had in NXT during his original run there, going up to the main roster, the first rodeo. And so, I'm sure he would agree to a certain extent that as far as that first rodeo, it was a bust. So to see him back in NXT, I fully embrace that. I know some people, they kind of look at stuff like that and they go, demotion, or, weren't good enough to, nowadays I just look at it, or at least I've always looked at it from a standpoint of, you know what, the main roster isn't for everybody. And that's no diss. The main roster is not for everybody, especially from the standpoint of, okay, you know what? Well, it was working for you down here. That fits that universe. That fits that mold perfectly. But just because it fits that mold and it clicks so well down there, it doesn't always mean that it's going to resonate and translate over to the main roster, to these other shows. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no problem in admitting that. So to see a guy that's honestly poorly misutilized in Finn Balor, yeah, for me, I was quite happy to see him back in NXT. And everything that has been asked of him in NXT, he has gone above and beyond. Especially early on when he was trying to put over other people and everything. He went above and beyond. No disrespect to Tommaso Ciampa, but he's had his time. Johnny Gargano, he's had his time. Adam Cole, God, I love Adam Cole. He's had his time. Let's really get back to basics of what NXT was all about initially and everything. And not to mention, you got these newer fans who sadly, first time that they came across Balor, it was as the Demon, and it was on Raw. So sadly for a lot of these fans, and you'd be surprised, I think it's getting to that point now where it's about even, but there was a period in time where you have fans that did not check out NXT. I'm talking about before it even moved to the USA Network. You have fans that just were not invested at all in the NXT product. So sadly, there are definitely a decent amount of fans that missed that initial run for Finn Balor as champion. Whereas you look at Adam Cole, good majority of the time that NXT has been on the USA Network, a good amount of fans have seen the Adam Cole run as NXT champion. Fans definitely saw the run there for Tommaso Ciampa. I'm not so sure about Johnny Gargano. I'm not sure if Johnny Gargano was champion while NXT was on the USA Network. It kind of feels that way, but I don't want to be too sure. I can't say for certain is what I was trying to say, so I won't double down on that one, but you kind of get the point that I'm making, with those names that I'm going through and everything. So, basically the point, it's still kind of fresh. Those respected individuals that had those title reigns and everything, most of those playing out on the USA Network, whereas a guy like Finn Balor, fans honestly did not get an opportunity to check out and everything. Not to mention it's counterproductive programming for when eventually NXT does go back to Wednesday nights and everything, because let's not also forget, you still got that international fan base of wrestling fans that recognize the work of Finn Balor, recognize his stuff from New Japan and other promotions and everything. I know that WWE will like to say in press releases and interviews and all that, they don't really care about what AEW is doing and everything. That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. You know damn well sometimes they're doing, well, what is Left Twix doing? Okay, that's what Left Twix is doing? Okay, well, that's what we're going to do. And then Right Twix is going, well, what the hell is Left Twix doing? You know, if you're Right Twix, you know, what's Left Twix doing? Okay, well, we're going to do that too, but we're going to put this little spin on it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with this go round Finn Balor. I really hope that he gets it, honestly. I hope he does. I think he's more than deserving of it. And I think now more than ever, I mean, just let me end it on this as we get ready to talk about the other action that happened from NXT tonight. Just imagine if, in this case, you're Triple H and one of your creations, your babies, you know, you shined it up, you put all the time and energy into it and everything, and you get it to a point where, yeah, this is definitely ready to serve on a platter, give to the big boss and his right-hand man and say, here you go, here's your next bona fide star, take this and run with it. And they just fucking blow that shit up. In a bad way, of course. They just fuck it up. Wouldn't you have a chip on your shoulders to a certain degree? Not personal, but wouldn't you have from a business standpoint, wouldn't you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulders just to kind of show those people, you know, y'all did wrong and how you utilized this person when I had them nice and perfectly set up for you. Y'all fucked this person up real bad. I'm gonna take this creation and I'm gonna make you guys regret how you utilize them. I'm gonna show you how it's supposed to be done. So yeah, that's kind of where my thought process is on Finn Balor. You know, it's so much more than just, well, I think this person's gonna win. You know, that's where I am. I mean, to each its own. I mean, I was liking seeing, you know, what some of you guys had said about, you know, oh, you know, this person should win. But that's where I am. And the funny thing is, I never did really sit down and just, well, why? Everything that I just told you guys, that's like in real time. I mean, it was kind of like suppressed, but I never really spent 5-10 minutes just really thinking about it. So hopefully you appreciate that. So let's talk some other action that happened from NXT tonight. And if you guys want me to revisit that main event match, let me know. But let's talk about some of the other action that went down from tonight's NXT. So we had our opener that kicked off the show. It was a 6-man tag team match. It looks like it was a street fight. 6-man tag match street fight. We saw Breezango and Isaiah Scott take on Legado del Fantasma. Okay matchup. You know, they went about almost 12 minutes long there. 12, maybe 13 minutes long. Closing moments of this one, Legado del Fantasma. He was locking it up with Fandango. And Scott came in there. Hit him with a stereo somersault dive from the top. Breezango then hits dives on everyone outside the ring. That pretty much had left Escobar to get pinned after Scott nails with the JML driver. So Breezango, Isaiah Scott picking up the W there. Okay tag match. As some of you guys know, the whole Phantasma thing, it's not clicking with me just yet. Kind of weird too, because when I look at Angel Garza, it's clicking for me. I'm into that character. When I'm looking at who's the other one? Angel Garza. Who's the other guy? I don't know why I've been drawing of Andrade. I don't know why I'm drawing blanks on his name for some reason these past couple of weeks. But Andrade, I can get into him, you know, no problem. Mysterio and Son, you know, no problem. I don't know what it is, but there's just something about Phantasma that I just find to be very, very bland. I don't know what's missing, but there's something that's lacking. I'm not really sure exactly what it is. You know, this is something as far as that character and the story arcs that he's been involved in these past couple of months. I've definitely followed it, but sadly, it's just not clicking for me. I'm not really sure how it is for you guys, but As far as when I look at individuals across all the brands, and in this case, when I just home in specifically on what's going on there in NXT, that's honestly one cat I just cannot get into. And the fact that I can't get into this character, I can't get behind this wrestler's work while they're still down there in NXT. I can only imagine how it would resonate if we were to eventually take this wrestler with this current gimmick, this current stable, everything that's going on right now, and put that on the main roster in front of actual fans. I'm not a gambling man, but I bet you it would not go over well. I bet you. So there's still time for WWE, Hunter and all of them, Shawn Michaels, there's still time for those guys to do their best to try and tweak it and see if they can kind of make things really pop. But as far as in-ring ability, though, not a question right there. Pretty good. I know he kind of reminds me of Alberto Del Rio Light. Yeah, that's the best thing. I don't know if you guys see that, but he kind of reminds me of Alberto Del Rio Light. Only he's lacking in, maybe that's what it is, guys. Maybe that's what it is. Because I've never really stopped and marinated on it before, but maybe I just answered my own question. Maybe the reason why I can't really get into this guy is because to some extent I've seen this play out before, where we get this Latin guy, he's in a suit and he's pushing limos and he's made to look like this big important El Jefe, El Chapo, he's made to, be this big guy, this big important guy. But yet, that's the thing. Del Rio, El Patron, he had mad swag. And I'm just not, it seemed natural to his swag. You feel me? It seemed very natural. I'm not seeing it with Phantasmo. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Convince me otherwise why I should really be into Phantasmo. But I'm really not there right now, sadly. But an okay tag team matchup. Definitely happy for my guys in Breezango. I've been a fan of theirs for a long time, and I'm happy to see that WWE did not cut ties with them. Just looking back, I know we're in this whole pandemic and everything, but if there was anybody that I wouldn't have been surprised got let go from the WWE, if I would have heard Breezango got released, it doesn't really surprise me. I would have expected them to be announced. So the fact that WWE has continued to stay with those guys this long, that speaks volume as far as I'm concerned. That definitely says to me that they are appreciated, that they do have value and everything. And not for nothing, but I can remember when they were doing their thing on SmackDown. I love their segments. They reminded me so much of Edge and Christian and their silly little segments and everything. So I'm happy to see that those guys are still around. So Tegan Knox was talking about her relationship with Candice LeRae. It was a little bit of a vignette package that we saw. She says that once Johnny Gargano started his whole Gargano way, there was like this twinkle in her eyes and she just completely changed as a person. And Tegan Knox went on to say this wasn't the person that she became best friends with or ended up becoming best friends with. This was not the person that she remembers introducing to her family. And she basically wants to somehow get a hold of Candice one-on-one and really hash it out, try to squash things once and for all, because as far as she's concerned, that's her sister, and she just can't imagine being in a world where they aren't friends anymore, where they don't have that bond anymore. Nice setup for Candice LeRae taking on Casey Calenzaro. Short matchup right here. About, if you were lucky, maybe it was a little bit over 2 minutes tops. I can't really rate that match, honestly, and I'm not trying to be difficult. Can't really rate that match. Okay, wasn't bad, wasn't terrible, wasn't, it's just okay. Candice LeRae picking up the W. She pretty much delivered the Super Dragon curb stomp, pick up the W. She cut a promo saying that Caden and Casey remind her a lot of Tegan and herself. And she follows up on Tegan's invitation to want to sit down, squash things, and all that. And Candice said, you know what, Tegan, if you're listening, you're invited to my house for dinner. It's on us, or rather, it's on me, Candice LeRae. It's like, so we'll see how that exactly pans out. Quick sidebar. Can I be honest with you guys for a second here? The Candice LeRae, once I was a baby face, now I'm this heel, and I got dark mascara under my eyes, and I come out all pouty looking now, and I do this camera filter thing where I'm going, I'm evil. Stay away from me. I'm evil. It's God, I gotta be honest, right? Keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive. Nothing's been clicking for me with regards to Candice, sadly. I don't like saying that. I know that's probably gonna make some people feel a little bit discouraged, especially the hardcore fans. Cause I know a lot of these guys, they got followers, mad hardcore followers and all that. Understand something. When I'm critiquing, offering constructive criticism about some of your favorite wrestlers or matches and all of that, and you kind of have to preface this nowadays, because some people, they really do take it personal. It's like, it's not personal. At least for me, it's never personal. At the end of the day, opinion. That's what it is. A large part of this show is opinionated. Doesn't mean every single thing that I say, you got to take it to the bank and cash it. It's not the gospel. And that's what's really cool about this show, is that, when you all disagree with some of the things that I say, I only have one rule. Be civil, be very cordial, and let's bounce off of each other. Help me see your point, and I'll respect it. But hey, it needs to be mutual, right? So you got to respect where I'm coming from with my thoughts and all that as well. But the whole Candice LeRae face heel, it's just, it ain't clicking for me. I haven't really been. That's where I am. Tegan Knox, nice bright career ahead of her. She really does, legitimately. She does. But this feud, I'm not there yet. Maybe with this whole dinner thing, however it's going to play out. I'm assuming this is going to be playing out next week. Maybe they can kind of crank this up a notch, and I can really start to really feel this Candice LeRae turn. I keep waiting. Maybe part of the problem why I can't really get into Candice LeRae and this new turn just yet is because I'm still waiting for her. She's supposed to, I got the touch of evil. Maybe I'm patiently waiting for her to take that evil to that next level, and it's not there yet. Anybody can put on mascara and all that, and I'm evil. It's like, come on, let's see something really despicable. Let's see something really heinous. Let's see something that's really fucking cutthroat. Now, I know last week I had said some things about Dakota Kai. I will say this much about Dakota Kai, and it's starting to get kind of hot in here, so I actually might turn on my AC here. I don't know. I kind of feel like turning it on. We'll see what happens. I kind of feel like I'm going to try to resist, because if I turn that on, it might interfere with the mic. So I'm going to try to resist here. But no, I'll say this much about Dakota Kai. At least Dakota Kai, at least you can actually not just cosmetically see the change, but you can also, to a degree, see the change with the demeanor of her character, and how she responds to certain people and tactics that she's using and all of that. I need for, and maybe again next week, maybe Candice LeRae will take it to that next level. We'll have to wait and see. Let's keep going on now. All this was going on during the first hour, by the way. If you're just joining us, we already talked about the main event match. If there's anything you need me to double down on with regards to that main event match, let me know. But let's keep on going here. All right, so some more NXT action that went down tonight. Let's see, where are we now? Bronson Reed took on Timothy Thatcher. Real short match. That's a problem with a lot of these matches, man. You know, for me, honestly, I would have been fine with just, if you wanted to do these same matches, I would have been okay with it, but some of them you really should have just given more time to. I honestly would have been fine with that. And for me, if there's one match that's glaring, very glaring to me right now, Bronson Reed, Timothy Thatcher. These guys were only out there for about maybe 3 minutes. And I'm going, really? These guys are pretty fucking good. Pretty fucking good. Bronson Reed is growing on me. Bronson Reed kind of has he's got like a Bam Bam Bigelow meets Brodus Clay meets Jacob Fatu. Just more friendlier. He's got this nice weird combination that's going about him. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but I'm loving it. He's really growing on me, especially as a big dude. He's really growing on me. But this match that he had against Timothy Thatcher, I wanted more. That's my only gripe. I wanted more action from these guys. If they would have tacked on an additional 10 minutes, I would have been fine. I would have walked away very happy. But to only give these guys about 3 minutes, I just felt that was rather fucking shitty. Good psychology in this matchup. Timothy Thatcher went in on Bronson Reed's left arm early on. And boy, the payoff for that, it kicked in big time. Now remember, last week, Bronson Reed and Austin Theory, they had a heated exchange backstage, and it pretty much ended with Reed slapping the taste out of the Theory's mouth there. So you knew Austin Theory at some point, oh, I got your ass. All right, big boy, you want to roll like that? I got your ass. So closing moments of this one, we see Timothy Thatcher. He tries to fake like something happened to his eye. So the referee is checking on him. Mind you, Thatcher, Reed, they were brawling outside of the ring. Referee was calling for him to have the action come back in the ring and everything. So Thatcher at this point, he was doing a really good number pretty much all throughout the match, homing in on that left arm, doing whatever, submission moves, whatever. He was homing in on that arm. So Thatcher eventually gets in the ring. He gets in first and starts saying, oh, my eye, my eye. Referee is checking on him. Reed is coming to. He's a little bit weak, kind of stumbling a bit, trying to get in the ring. Next thing you know, Austin Theory just comes out of nowhere from behind and freaking, I don't know if it was a modified Famouser or what, or just diving freaking Reed head first into the mat. But it was pretty sweet how he attacked him from behind. Rolls out. Referee doesn't see anything that's going on. Theory did manage to get Bronson Reed, rode him into the match, or into the ring right before the ref turned around and all that. So he disappears. And Thatcher pretty much picks up the scraps, applies the Fujiwara armbar, gets Bronson Reed to tap out, pretty much ends like that. So, at least you can make the argument that, well, not for nothing, but Theory did interfere there. That's why Bronson Reed lost. So you got an asterisk by that W for Timothy Thatcher. So Reed, Theory, all right, their little instant Acme feud, that continues. Rhea Ripley, earlier in the night, she issued a challenge to Mercedes Martinez. As we've seen, they've kind of collided off and on for the past couple of weeks. We saw what went down from last week. Rhea Ripley wants Mercedes Martinez in a match for next week. And Mercedes Martinez said, all right, sister, game on. You want me in that match? All right, game on. We're going to do it next week. So that should be a solid matchup. But I can't help but wonder if my girl Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai may play some type of small role in this one. Because remember, when it came to the tag match last week on NXT, where we had saw Rhea Ripley teaming up with Io Shirai to take on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, remember, the team of Gonzalez and Kai, they ultimately won because Mercedes, she did run interference there. She did help out there. So you can't help but wonder, homegirl kind of scratched our back there a little bit. We kind of got to return the favor. So kind of have that in the back of your mind when you're going into this match for next week. I just, 2 cents from a distance, seems like that's a smart way you should kind of book this. So once again, maybe you kind of have Io Shirai come out there and try to help her out. You can still have Rhea Ripley, though, say, hey, I didn't need your help, stay out of my business, or some crap like that. But kind of makes a lot of sense that all 4 of these women, once again, they intertwine with one another. So kind of be on the lookout for that. But it should be a pretty good match. Mercedes Martinez and Rhea Ripley, I'm looking forward to it. Even if there is going to be a little bit of interference that's going to be running in it, I'm still looking forward to checking it out. Hey, if you guys been enjoying the show so far, do me a huge favor. Make sure you hit the likes. Helps out big time. Lets other people know, hey, all right, this is cool. Check this out. But yeah, like, spread it around. Spread it all around. Really helps out. Trying to grow the fan base much more in 2020. By the way, said it on Monday night. Got to stress it again. I saw that over the weekend. Going into now, we have picked up new followers, new subscriptions and all that. So that's awesome. Appreciate that. Welcome. Hope you enjoy the content. We'll get into some AEW talk now, because that's pretty much a nice, pretty little ribbon on NXT for this week. But, honestly, the show, I would say, okay episode, but I'm left with that bitter taste in my mouth from the main event match when it's all said and done. So, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the shit, 10 being awesome sauce, I would give this week a 6 out of 10. So not terrible. It's the average episode when it's all said and done. I want to give a shout out to our Patreon members. Remember, patreon.com/RCWR show. Check out bonus audio video content. Great majority won't be able to find anywhere else. A lot of exclusive content that's on there. I actually got to be recording a new Impact Showdown to cover Impact Wrestling Fallout. That will be dropping. The goal is going to be Wednesday night. I'm going to have it drop for you Patreon members Wednesday night. $5 though. Get you in. Check out a whole boatload of content. That's not something you have to keep paying each time to access content. You just drop $5 one time for the month, and there's a boatload of content that's ready at your disposal. So do consider signing up. Shout out to Patreon members Gino Morgan. Gino. Shout out to Justin Ripstock. Shout out to Michael Wolf. Shout out to John Davis. Shout out to Tony Being Gaming. You want the very latest in all things Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the upcoming Square Enix game that's going to be dropping this week, Marvel's Avengers, tips, tricks, news, walkthroughs, reviews. Tony Bing, he's got you covered. Look him up on YouTube. Tony Bing Gaming. Awesome Patreon paywall as well. Shout out to our sponsors as well. Love our sponsors. We've been working with just a platter of new sponsors these past couple of weeks, and been loving it. Been fucking loving it. So let's get into the talk of some AEW. I do have one more little tidbit of actually, you know what? I'm gonna save that for Friday. It's NXT news, but it ties into NXT UK. We'll save that till Friday. But let's talk AEW. So AEW Dark, it did get dropped earlier. It was dropped earlier. Won't spoil it for you guys, because usually we talk Dynamite results after Dynamite has aired and everything. But as far as what's going on for this week's AEW Dark, check this out. These were your matches. Frankie Kazarian taking on Angelico. Is it Angelico or Angelico? Angelico. I think it's Angelico, if I'm not mistaken. Allie takes on Cassandra Golden. For those of you wondering, where the fuck is Abaddon? Where the fuck is Abaddon? She's in action. It's on AEW Dark. Abaddon took on Danny Jordan. Kip Sabian took on Sean Dean. Billy and Austin Gunn took on Donnie Janela and Ryan Rembrandt. The Initiative with Leva Bates took on Private Party. Anna Jay took on Red Velvet. Is the last name Cake? Jurassic Express's Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy took on John Cruz and David Ali. Santana and Ortiz took on Fubu Andre and Razing. Maybe that's Ryzen. It's got to be Ryzen. Sean Spears took on Eddie Taurus. Ricky Starks took on Tony Donati. And that was for AEW Dark for this week. Other interesting note about AEW Dark, you guys might want to prepare yourselves. I know a lot of you guys have been enjoying the combination of Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross, and Taz, and or Chris Jericho. Looks like, take it with a grain of salt, but potentially Excalibur is going to be back commentating as of this Wednesday. Now, he was commentating with Taz on this week's AEW Dark. Just FYI. So I know a lot of you fans have just been in heaven since you've not heard Excalibur. It's very interesting to hear people offer their, critique on, this guy sucks as a commentator. If you ask me straight up, just from my personal opinion, what do I make of Excalibur? I mean, it's good basic, good basic stuff. Nothing that is memorable. It's nothing that is, that's catchy, or that one line he said where, he's always witty. He's always coming up with something, he's okay. He's okay. But I'm not going to do like some people and call for someone to be out of a job. Of course, this was way before the stuff that went down, the scandal involving him and 17 years ago, saying the N-word and all that. That's just how I've always felt. There have been people that have been calling for Excalibur's job almost since like fucking day one. Could he use additional training? Yeah, you should never be content. I've always said on this show, never be content. You should always be striving to further enhance yourself, to further develop yourself. If you're not furthering and trying to better yourself, and you're just settling on your morals and all that, this is good enough. Yes, how evolution can pass you by. So we all could use room for improvement. Even a guy such as Excalibur and everything. Look, if he's back, he's back. It is what it is. Me personally, I like the team of Schiavone, Jim Ross, Taz. I like them. I think if anything, maybe Excalibur should just stay on Dark. Maybe have him do backstage interviews and all that. Let him have that role when he's on Dynamite. But that's just me, until you can have him pick up some more stuff and all that. But I'm not going to call for his job. Now, if it's Alex Marvez, that's a different story. That guy is a different story. Yeah, you got to rewind it back to the early shows when we were covering Dynamite, which, by the way, I think it's kind of cool and yet kind of odd at the same time. Some of you listeners out there that are apparent fans of mine have been rewinding back to episodes of my show from like March, February, or January for the talk of AEW Dynamite. And apparently there's a decent amount of you guys that have a bunch of stuff saved up on your DVR. So you're watching what's on your DVR, and then you're seeing what I have to say about that respected week's show. That's kind of cool, but I can't help but wonder from some of you guys, what's taking you so long to just now get to your DVR? That's my question. I don't know. Maybe you're working a lot, but shout out to you. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that was kind of cool. Some of you had made my day, sending me some private messages saying, hey, I'm trying to access blah, 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 and all that other stuff. So good stuff. Let's see. We're previewing this week's AEW Dynamite. This is the go home show before All Out, which is going to be dropping Saturday. True fucking story. There was going to be a AEW All Out post show because I had Saturday off. And yesterday, I bullshit you not, something said, check your schedule. My schedule for work always drops early Friday afternoon. It's like clockwork. So I see, I got the Labor Day weekend to myself. Hey, great. I can check out AEW's All Out. Cool. So I looked at it Friday. Yesterday, something said, look at your schedules. I said, I don't want to look at it. Like, look at your schedule just in case. So I look at my schedule, and now they got me working Saturday night. So I sadly will not be able to do a all-out post show. We know normally when it comes to AEW and their pay-per-views, they can be a bit long-winded. They can kind of go until damn near 11, sometimes fucking midnight and all that. So by the time I get in, I think I probably most likely will have missed the first hour and a half of the pay-per-view. So that's going to be too long of a delay for me to try to get caught up to speed and then try to do the post show. So 9 times out of 10, what'll most likely happen is I will drop a post show Sunday afternoon, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on what all had came about from All Out. So, but preview for this week's Dynamite for September 2nd. Chris Jericho is going to be taking on Joey Janela. Remember, Jon Moxley is going to be facing MJF's lawyer. Remember the stipulation there, because Jon Moxley had altered the last page of the contract that basically said, okay, MJF, you want me to take away the whole paradigm shift and all that? Okay, we'll go ahead. We'll do this match. I'll agree to your terms, but the only way you're going to get this match against me for the championship, I got to beat the shit out of your lawyer. So if your lawyer does not go along and do this match with me, then essentially your match with me for my title is forfeited. So that's how we got to that point. Santana and Ortiz are going to be taking on the Best Friends. That should be good. Young Bucks and Jurassic Express are going to be taking on Private Party and SCU. This is going to be a triple threat tag team match. The winner of this match, the winning team of this match, will then face each other at the All Out pay-per-view. You heard me right. Marinate on that again. That sounded kind of weird, did it not? Again, Young Bucks and Jurassic Express versus Private Party and SCU. Again, Young Bucks and Jurassic Express versus Private Party and SCU. The winning team will then face each other at the All Out pay-per-view. You get it? You get it? If that sounds kind of confusing, I'll help you guys out, because that does sound confusing, especially given when you're watching this. Because if you're watching this live, as we're live right now, it's almost 11 o'clock at night. All right. So again, Young Bucks and Jurassic Express. You got that equation, right? All right. So they're teaming up. They're going to take on Private Party and SCU. You got it? Now, whoever wins those two teams will then have to face each other. So if Young Bucks and Jurassic Express win, then they have to face each other at All Out. And you get the other. You get it now? What's the incentive, though, is my question. Like, what's the ultimate goal here? Is this gonna try to figure out who's gonna eventually get a tag team title shot opportunity here? What's going on? I'm trying to give you guys the most up-to-date info as I can, and I'm just looking at the card here. Bear with me a second here. I'm looking at a more updated card, and yeah, I'm just looking at the All Out card. But that's what's supposed to be going on. That's what's supposed to be going on this week's Dynamite. So remember that. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. It looks like there's nothing else. That's it. Chris Jericho taking on Joey Janela. Moxley taking on MJF's lawyer. Santana and Ortiz taking on the Best Friends. Young Bucks and Jurassic Express taking on Private Party and SCU. Winning team face each other at All Out. That's what all is going to be happening on Dynamite. I'm sure there'll probably be a few more announcements. Now, the rundown card for Saturday's All Out pay-per-view event, we got Matt Hardy taking on Sammy Guevara. A Broken Rules match. This is pretty much a no-brainer and kind of silly right here, but if Matt Hardy loses, he must leave AEW. You're killing me, Petey. He just got there. Dark Order. Hang on. This is kind of jumbled up a little bit. Dark Order. Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson take on Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and the Natural Nightmares, Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall, 8-man tag match. Then you've got your 21-man Casino Battle Royale. Winner of that receives a future AEW World Championship match. So far, we know the following participants are in, without a doubt. They're locked in. Darby Allin, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, Butcher, Blade, Eddie Kingston. So that's all we know right now. Sheeta will be taking on my favorite. I love her. Thunder Rosa. It's going to be a singles match for the AEW Women's World Title. Kenny Omega, Hangman Page will take on FTR's Cash Wheeler and Dax Hardwood. Tag match for the AEW World Tag Titles. Orange Cassidy takes on Chris Jericho in a Mama Mosa Mayhem match. Match can only be won by pinfall or submission, or throw your opponent into a big old tank of mimosa. And your main event match, Jon Moxley taking on MJF for the AEW World Championship, assuming the lawyer goes through with his responsibilities on Wednesday's Dynamite. So we'll wait and see how that pans out. For those of you that maybe want me to offer predictions as far as the ratings for NXT this week, I'm gonna say NXT is probably gonna do 656,000. I'll say NXT does 656,000. It's, you can't really say, who's going to be the winner because, NXT Dynamite aren't going head to head on the same night during the same time frame. So I'm expecting 656,000. 656,000 plus for NXT this week, given the fact that they're on a Tuesday. I'm going to be more interested in seeing what's going to be happening this coming Tuesday when one more time they air on a Tuesday, just to see if it's going to be consistent or if there's going to be growth. And then, especially when they get ready to go back to their Wednesday time slot, that's another thing that I'm going to be paying attention to as well. But yeah, other than that, that's it. I like the fact that I was able to really ground this to talk of NXT and AEW. I wish we were talking about AEW Dynamite particularly. I think what we probably will end up doing for next Tuesday's show, since NXT is going to be at it one more time, I've yet to do it. I've yet to watch a full episode of AEW Dark. So I think what I'll probably end up doing is I'll watch AEW Dark. I'm going to try to see if maybe we all can do like a watch along. I'll try to see if I can set up some type of a watch along where you guys can join me, and we could do AEW Dark, and then after NXT is over and everything, we can come on back and I'll talk about NXT. And for the first time ever, really, I'll definitely talk about AEW Dark. I think in the past I've talked about little bits and pieces maybe I've seen, but I've never actually sat down and watched an entire Dark episode. So tune in for that next Tuesday. That's going to be awesome. Meantime, as far as your next edition of the RCWR show, I'm going to be dropping something. I won't be back live with you guys again until Friday, September 4th. I'll be live after SmackDown goes off the air. Now, let me think about this now, because originally that Friday show was going to go down with in mind I was going to be off Saturday to cover All Out. So now that we kind of have a little bit of a monkey wrench in things, I tell you what we'll do. We'll still come on live Friday. I'll come on for about an hour. We'll talk SmackDown. I'll offer All Out predictions, and we can talk a little bit about what had happened on Dynamite. So, most likely we can get all that done in about an hour, maybe about an hour 15 tops. Yeah. So there will be a show. I'll come on live at 10 p.m. Eastern after SmackDown goes off. You'll be able to catch it on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Periscope. Just use keywords RCWR show. Follow me, by the way, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use keywords the RCWR show. But yeah, that'll be your next show. Patreon members, you already know. New Impact Showdown. That's going to drop for you guys Wednesday night. And then other than that, for those of you that won't be tuning in Friday, the All Out post show, I'm going to see if we can do a Sunday afternoon show. We'll see what happens. Just depends on what's going on with my schedule. So as long as you're staying connected to me on social media, you guys will definitely know what's going on. All right. Stay connected though, so you always get that 411. One more time, I want to thank those of you that tuned in live. It means a lot that you checked out the show. However you're watching this, please, if you see a heart, a like, click on that, share. Helps out tremendously. Can't stress it enough. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. And stay connected. I love interacting with you guys, and we really been doing a good job, I think, in 2020, and trying to grow the audience. Really trying to make it expand more and everything. I just wanted to keep on happening. The more and more people we have that are checking out the show, interacting, and all of that, that's fucking fantastic. But that is going to do it until next go round. Wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round. Take care.